Now, this could be the thing that kickstarts Marcus Rashford's career once again. So it seems as though he's going to achieve his lifelong dream of playing for Barcelona, as Barcelona are currently negotiating with Manchester United to get him on loan with an option to buy. Now, if anybody's been paying attention, Marcus Rashford has been given some subtle hints that he wants to play for Barcelona, or he could be playing for Barcelona next season. He's been liking Instagram posts with Barcelona players, commenting on a few things, and it's been reported day after day after day that Barcelona is his dream club and he wants to play for them. Now, when the transfer is done and everything is signed, I'll do a proper video on how I think Rashford can fit into this Barcelona side. But first reactions, I think it's going to be very interesting and maybe positive for him. You have to think about it like this. If the reports are correct and Marcus Rashford dreams of playing for Barcelona, I think he's going to put his best foot forward when he joins that team. Now, whether this is as a first team starter or coming off from the bench, I think he's going to be very energetic. I think he's going to be hunting goals. I think he's going to try to tear up La Liga and the Champions League. And that is 1, because he will be playing for his reported club, 2, because he wants to kickstart his career yet again, and 3, he wants Barcelona to buy him. Now, of course, Rafinha already has that left-sided position locked down, so people are thinking, where does Rashford fit into this team? Well, he could work as a rotational option, coming off the bench, starting those quote-unquote less important games. There's also the issue of Lewandowski, who probably will be moving on from Barcelona after next season. Rashford has played several times in that centre-forward position, and Hansi Flick could look to do something similar with him. And I've seen some Barcelona fans talk about perhaps playing Rafinha behind a striker, which I haven't looked too much into, so I'm not going to come to a conclusion just yet. But there are several options on how he can fit into this Barcelona side. But those are my initial thoughts. As I said, I will go into a more in-depth video when everything is confirmed. But as always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more. Lamine Yamal should win the Ballon d'Or because PSG lost a tournament that Lamine Yamal was not even playing in. Let me say this again. Lamine Yamal should win the Ballon d'Or because quadruple winning PSG did not win the Club World Cup that Lamine Yamal did not play in. I'm sorry, but that logic is absolutely insane. It is insane. It is baffling. I do not know what to do with that information because Now, disclaimer here, this is TNT's ranking of who they think should win the Ballon d'Or after the Club World Cup ended. This is not official, nothing like that. It's not even the odds, it's just someone's opinion. But I think their opinion sucks because apparently Dembele does not deserve the Ballon d'Or because he quote-unquote ghosted until January. Not true, but let's run with it. But somehow Cole Palmer deserves the Ballon d'Or because he had a good Conference League and Club World Cup. The Club World Cup, which Lamine Yamal did not partake in, influences his rankings in the Ballon d'Or, but the Nations League, where Nuno Mendes kept Yamal quiet over a 90-minute period and went on to win the competition, does not. If we're basing the Ballon d'Or criteria around Lamine Yamal and his performances, what's stopping Nuno Mendes from winning the Ballon d'Or? He was arguably the best left-back, he was the best left-back in the world last season. He won a quadruple with PSG. He won a Nations League with Portugal, the same game where he was, in my opinion, the only left-back in the world that kept Lamine Yamal quiet all game. So if we're tailoring the Ballon d'Or to Lamine Yamal's successes, maybe we should also tailor it to his failures as well and give Nuno Mendes the Ballon d'Or. And now, I mean no disrespect to Lamine Yamal, I think he's a terrific player, but you have a player in Ousmane Dembele who not only won a quadruple with PSG, the first Champions League in their history, but also was the Champions League player of the tournament. And you're not going to give him the Ballon d'Or because of a tournament that Lamine Yamal did not qualify for. Okay, but those are just my thoughts. As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more. Lamine Yamal will not be able to carry the weight of the Barcelona 10 is something I've heard in the past couple of hours. Now, as many already know, Lamine Yamal signed a new contract with Barcelona and he has inherited the number 10. And already there are theories, there are conversations about his ability to carry the weight that the number 10 brings. And a lot of it stems from this idea that there is some sort of curse when young players inherit big numbers. And this is often talked about the most when a number is passed down from a former great onto another player. Ansu Fati, of course, inherited Messi's number 10, a young, promising player pegged to be one of the future greats, and yet he could not live up to expectations. He's at Monaco now. Hazard as well goes to Real Madrid at the top of his game, gets there and ends up being one of the worst transfers in Real Madrid history. And there's this kind of idea, or should I say conspiracy, that when players inherit these numbers, especially from clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, they end up cursed. Look, I get why certain people would feel this way. Of course, there have been players who have taken on these numbers and not fulfilled expectations, but I do think it is a little bit of a reach. Even if we look at Vinicius Jr., and let's ignore the season that's just gone, just focusing on the 23-24 season, he took that Ronaldo number 7, ended up putting a sensational performance in the Champions League semi-final, came second in the Ballon d'Or rankings. You know what? It's pretty good. So it's not all bad when players inherit these numbers, and we have to remember who they are inheriting them from. I mean, Messi, Ronaldo, of course, expectations are going to be high and unrealistic in many cases. So back to Lamine Yamal, and maybe I will be proven wrong in a few seasons' time, I do not know. But as it stands right now, I do think he has shoulders big enough to carry that number 10. He's had a sensational couple of seasons. He's probably going to rank 3 in this year's Ballon d'Or, maybe even clinch it himself. So you know what, I for one am very excited to see him make his own legacy with the number 10 at Barcelona. But as always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more.